Hello mga kababayan, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Laruan ni Obi-Wan. I already made a review of this action figure, a very detailed one. So it's a guide for people to use whether to make a decision of purchasing or not purchasing this action figure. Now, since it is already in my lot, I am free to do as I please with my personal collection. So, first thing that I did was to actually take off the sword sheath from the back because I have the intention of making use of this cloth goods cape and hood, which is provided in this purchase of this action figure. So with the sword sheath on the back, actually it hinders the look of the cape, especially when you try to play with this action figure. It just is way too bunched up on the back. And if you're going to sheath the sword on the back of the figure, of course, you can't use the cape. So I want to eat my cake and have it too. So the best thing to do is to cut that sword sheath off. I'm going to paint that later. I already sanded it. And for the sword sheath, my plan is to display it on the side over here. Something of a more traditional sword carry system instead of a ninja-like carry system, which, okay. I would rather have this, just like this, and a cape on the shoulders of the figure. So with this system, it is a complete look. I make use of all the indigenous accessories that is included with this purchase. So it's just easy. Just use your X-Acto knife, cut off that side from the back of the figure, and then sand this off a little bit to take off the debris of the glue. And once that is already clean, something like this, possibly it's now easy to apply a little bit of paint there to make that surface smooth. Same thing goes with the sword sheath, but if you want to leave it this way, actually it is actually okay because there is still weathering on the leather scabbard of the sword. So as it dangles on the side of the figure, actually that area is also seen, so there's some kind of weathering on the sheath of the sword. Now, as for these two cords, I'm going to loop it around the sword belt, so something of a more traditional carry, and I'm going to make a knot on each side, something of this kind of carry. So I'm just going to position that sword accordingly. Of course, it has to be a really convenient draw for the figure, and of course it's a toy, it has to look good. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, so we already installed the sword sheath on the side this way. So as you could see, we have the mounting points on this side and the other mounting point on this side, and just make a knot using your tweezers. So just pull on the side and see if it's dangling nicely just by gravity. So nice and clean. And for extra cordage, you could either cut or just hide it beneath the belt. And one thing that I discovered why the neck seemed a little bit short when I first reviewed this is actually when actually I was able to take off the both shoulders of this action figure, because I was really examining the points of articulation, and I was trying to figure a way to really position the hair. I would like this head sculpt, to retain this head sculpt, but at the same time I wanted the hair to be a little bit off the sides of the body armor, especially on the back. So I realized that the armor, while you when you take it out of packaging, actually it's a slip-on piece. So when you take off both hands, I guess the way that they put this body armor on, because there is no seam line or connection joint anywhere, they just wear it over before attaching the head and the shoulders. So maybe in packaging, the torso armor is lifted up. So actually this is I already did something to it to really lower that body armor. So one quick easy fix when you take this figure out of packaging is just hold on to the torso this way and the leg that way, and just press down that way, and you would later realize that the body armor would sit nicely on the figure, and you have more of a neckline on the action figure this time. Now with this figure it is really different, because I already applied heat to the hair. So as you could see, this is much clearance that I could give for this full head of hair on the back and on the side, because of my idea is to still make use of the cape, so it's going to sit on the figure. So if I really raise this portion of the hair with heat and cold water, if I raise it over so I could freely move the head, I can't just make use of the hood of the cape, because you'd just have this wearing the figure wearing it just over the shoulders, but because the hair is already bunched up to give clearance for motion, you cannot apply the hood. But with just this amount of clearance, I still have enough articulation for the head, and at the same time I could put the hood over the head of the figure. So the best of both worlds, hooded or unhooded. So this is going to be my idea for this figure. Actually, I really did not much toward this action figure, just cutting off the sword sheath and attaching it to the side, and then once again reapplying the nuts. So just loop it over on the back of the figure. So just splay those arms and then loop it at the back of the figure and make the nut on the back side. So because your sword is already not located on this position, you're free to make a really nice nut, and once you are done, that back is really nice and clean, and the hood would sit nice and flush on the head. You won't have this really big cone poking up, so it's going to sit that way, and you'll have the option of either uncovering the head or covering the head, and you could position it to whatever pose that you want, while you take photographs or video with it. So really nice figure. I already subjected this to a lot of hair dryer time, so including this one. So it used to be this position, a weapon holding hand mat. Since I'm a right-sided person, so of course I'll be displaying this figure with a sword on the right hand, and I just made this into a expression like hand, so splayed it more forwards, just applying more heat to this and then cold water, and yeah. But at the same time, I still have some kind of grip to hold on to possibly the scabbard or maybe anything that I want to pose this figure with. Okay, so we have the Witcher with the sword and the cape on. Now we are ready to really have serious play with this action figure. So let's introduce the opponent of the Witcher. So from the clearance aisle of Target, we have the Masters of the Universe Revelations Battlecat. So you could get this guy, depends on the target location that you go to. Some would really offer this as low as $11. So just check your local listings where you could get this for that price. And of course, no, the Witcher could best battle this Battlecat. Just let's take this armor off, and we have a really articulated tiger, an oversized tiger that the Witcher could play with. So let's get on with the photos and the video shots.